Today is a day of massive magical misfortune. One of the rarest black lotuses in the world has just been stolen. And on the digital side of things, Dracula just destroyed the Decathlon.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends, I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. This is the massive magic misfortune edition because unfortunate things are transpiring in the world of Magic the Gathering, both in the physical and the digital sense. Although, to be fair, the digital situation we're going to talk about does have some comedic elements that may pick up your spirits a little bit. So we're going to start out with the biggest misfortune, which is the super rare Black Lotus getting stolen. This is a crazy story. So let me put up on the screen for you an image that will tell a story in multiple parts. Up on the screen, you're going to see a combination of essentially two pictures slammed together. On the right-hand side, we have the Black Lotus in question, okay? So this is the card that was stolen. Taking a look at it, you can see it is a beta or alpha Lotus. If you don't know which is which, this is a beta, just so you know. Alpha has more rounded corners. Anyhow, this is a beta Lotus. This is confirmed by the people who work at the store as well. And you can see that there is a signature on it in gold, and that is indeed Christopher Rush, the artist's signature. But what you may not be aware of is there are actually two signatures on this card. Now, you may have to squint to see it, but take a look at the line where it says Mono Artifact in the middle of the card above the text box, and you will see that there is another signature. It looks like it might have been done in really light ink or pencil. You can see part of it actually moving down into the text box, and that is actually the signature of Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering. So you have a beta Black Lotus, which is only the second printing of Lotuses in the world, right? Like they did alpha and they did beta. There's not very many alpha, there's not very many beta. There's more beta than alpha, but still, this is just a beta Lotus is already one of the rarest Lotuses. If you add one signature to it, it moves up the rarity scale. As soon as you add two signatures to it from these prominent individuals, that moves it into the next stratosphere of rarity, right? Like this is insane. There are very few of these in the world. So this has been posted all over the place on Facebook, on Reddit, and honestly, this is something you guys should share out as well. We should spread the information about this scenario because when it comes to something this rare, unloading it becomes extremely difficult if everybody is aware it's out there. People are gonna go, wait a minute, how did you get a double-signed beta Black Lotus that happens to be the same one that is missing? But the word needs to spread for that to work. I've actually seen people do some crazy nonsense stealing cards and heard other crazier stories. One of the shops up in Toronto told me about how somebody stole their Black Lotus, handed it off to somebody else, and then somebody else came in the same day and tried to sell them back their own Black Lotus, but they didn't pay attention to the price tag. So instead, they tried to sell it for like 1/10 of what it was worth. And buddy who worked at the shop was there when it was stolen, recognized the exact card and was like, this is our card. This was stolen from us earlier today. And the guy brought it in, just basically ran out the shop. You know what I mean? Like, you have to deal with all kinds of different levels. So, the store involved here is, what's it called? Finch and Sparrow Games, located in Signal Hill. I'm going to actually read out the post that was put here by Minty Megan. That's the name of the individual who's posted this here. It says, hello. Hoping to get the word out, we just had our beta Black Lotus stolen from our store, Finch and Sparrow Games, located in Signal Hill, California. I assume CA is California, right? I don't live in the States. Picture attached for details, picture of the person who stole below. Lotus is beta and double signed by Garfield and Rush. Garfield in pen above the text, okay, so it's pen. And Rush in gold ink near the bottom of the text box. And then it talks about how the getaway car was a Toyota Honda. There are some particulars about the license plate listed. I don't know how talking about that stuff works on YouTube, so I don't want to traipse into the realm of giving out too much information, but if you want to know specifically the actual like make and model of the car overall combined with what it says partial license plates, then you can find that information posted online, right? So for me, just being aware of the fact that one of these is out in circulation, somebody has it who shouldn't, is a pretty big deal. I have to admit, when I look at the picture of the guy who stole the card here, I feel like I have almost the exact right clothes to dress up like him. I was looking at it going, wait a minute, could I put this outfit together and show up on screen and be like, actually, it was me, guys, you know, as a joke? Like, I genuinely thought about doing that. But look at the artwork. Not the artwork, sorry. Look at the image here. You can see the artwork of the lotus in his hand. And it looks like he's just walking off here. Do you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't look like a crazy, like, I came and smashed the case and run like they do late at night. And actually, in fact, what happened here was apparently this was basically a, hey, can I take a look at that Black Lotus? The person reaches into the display case and says, here you go, take a look at it. And then Buddy just leaves with the card. Now, obviously, the pictures here don't tell the whole tale. So I don't know if the guy was just, like, he started walking off and then he ran or whatever else. Like, I don't know how you get from, let me look at this Black Lotus, to getting an inch away from the display case. Do you know what I mean? Like, for that level of money, it would be, like, I've worked in game stores, man. People will steal the smallest cards. Like, when I started to fill up the display case, the owner came up to me and he's like, this edge right over here, he's like, don't ever put anything valuable along this side of the display case or in this corner, because people can reach around inside behind. Like, if I'm over here or wherever, anywhere, that's the part of the display case people can reach. They can literally get their arm in there and whatever. So, you know, like, people steal. It happens all the time from game stores. But with an item like this, you would figure, like, to me, this comes across as a store that clearly hasn't dealt with something like this happening before. And they're operating in what seems like good faith, where it's like, hey, you know what, we just trust everybody to not be a thief. But there's a certain level where the opportunity becomes so insane that you just have to treat even everyday normal people as if there's a potential something might go wrong. With a card this expensive, you need to be the one holding it. You want to inspect it? You want to see both sides of it? No problem, pal. I'll take it out of the case, but it never leaves my hand. You don't even try and touch this case. It's nothing personal. You know what I mean? We're just dealing with something that's worth tens of thousands of dollars. And I can't think of any place that's really just going to hand you whatever that's worth tens of thousands of dollars and go, yeah, here you go. Have it in your hand, no problems. We got no safety precautions or anything. This guy just walked. He was just able to walk out with, or run out. That part I don't 100% know. But with card were tens and tens of thousands of dollars. So like I said, this is such a rarity that actually being able to sell it is going to present a real problem. I don't know if the person who stole it is aware that there are different levels of Black Lotus, or maybe just heard, hey, Black Lotus is a valuable card. I saw that on like some TV show or website. Don't they have one of those at that game store I was in one time? You know what, I'm gonna go ask. And then, wow, a Lotus. Well, if I leave, these things, all these cards look the same. How's anybody gonna even tell the difference? Meanwhile, you've got like a double-signed beta, which is one of the super rarest versions. So you end up actually getting caught and nailed for it. So spread the word around as much as you can, my friends. Your choice. Share the Reddit post around, find the Facebook post, share that around, share this video around, whatever it is, do it by word of mouth. Just spread the word, because the more of us who know, the harder it is for us all to get skeezed by people like this. And as somebody who has had a number of his things stolen, both in person, I've had a whole bunch of Magic cards stolen by people, and it took me a while to even figure out who the ones who were doing it and catching a mid-act. It's a really bad feel, man. It doesn't feel good to be stolen from. And I've had my stuff stolen when I wasn't there and it was just sitting in the shop. Like, and it's not like I'm an overly trusting guy and just leave my stuff everywhere, but at the same time, obviously, I made some mistakes too. Ultimately, it feels awful to be stolen from. This gives the Magic community overall just kind of a lesser inviting atmosphere. The more we have to stare askance at each other, the more we have to make sure our backpacks are pegged under our chairs. Yet all these sort of things combine to like dilute the friendliness overall of Magic. Now, obviously, this isn't a huge measure in terms of diluting it, but this is something, and this is one of those rare situations where we can actually do something. I mean, there's actually the guy who owns the one game store. Many years ago, he had a bunch of his stuff stolen. And so the store owner at the time went and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to get these cards together. He handed them off to me. He's like, here's a starter kit. Go and trade like a fiend. We're going to rebuild what this guy got stolen from him or whatever. And that's what we did. We worked as a community to restore what had been taken from this guy. And that is part of what I value about the Magic community, is the fact that we are genuinely a community. And I'm not telling you that you have to go out and share this. You obviously decide your level of involvement, but I am genuinely emphatic about this as somebody who's been hosed, seen other people get hosed and whatever. Just spreading the word a little bit could mean the difference between this guy getting away with it or the card ending up back at the Magic game shop where it belongs, so somebody who actually deserves it can come and pick it up, right? So overall, that covers all the details we really have on the crazy double-signed Black Lotus theft. Let us move on to another odd concept. I never thought that I would say that Dracula just destroyed the Decathlon. But here we are. What a weird universe. And I never thought I'd say that in regards to Magic the Gathering. But we have a both very disappointing and at the same time humorous situation going on with Magic Arena, where Wizards of the Coast has literally had to make a post. I love the way it's worded too. It says, we've discovered a bug in Magic Arena. It's like, don't you really mean we've created a bug in Magic Arena? Discovering a bug feels like somebody who didn't create the program might do. I mean, yes, you debug it as a programmer. I just I love the wording. We've discovered a bug. It's like, you made that. You did that. It's like, I discovered a hole burnt in the rug. Oh yeah, who did it? I mean, I did it. Well, what do you mean you discovered it? You made it. Anyhow, we discovered a bug in Magic Arena where you're unable to sideboard if you're using Dracula basic lands. Until we create a fix, please avoid using these lands in best of 3, including the Decathlon finals. And I read it and went, Wizards, what are you doing? If you're not familiar with Arena, first of all, the Decathlon is like a 10-event thing that Wizards of the Coast has been doing. 10 different tournament style events. This one is a draft. This one is sealed. This one is these kind of decks. Like every single one has a different flavor. And if you manage to win the event, you get a Decathlon token. And if you get enough of these Decathlon tokens, then you make it into the Decathlon finals. And there are other things that go along with it. So the Decathlon is supposed to be a really big deal, right? Now you have the scenario where you can't use Dracula basic lands in it because it shuts off your ability to sideboard. So if you're playing best 2 of 3, you can't change your deck to optimize it against your opponent. And the reason you can't is because you're using the wrong basic lands. This is the crazy part about this. These are literally just basic lands with a different piece of artwork. We have had different basic lands with different pieces of artwork since the beginning of Arena. Most Magic sets feature anywhere from 5 to 10 different land arts. I want you to understand that. This is something they have to do with every single set that comes out. They have to program in new basic lands with their artwork, which must be really easy because all basic lands function identically. If they're not snow lands, it literally functions the same. All you have to do is visually change the artwork. That's all that's involved with this, is change the artwork. But you bring Dracula in, and all of a sudden, now these lands are broken. They're basic lands. It's the most basic thing in Magic. It taps for a mana. That's all it does. And they break your deck. You can't sideboard if you have them in. And they're an extra cosmetic that you pay for. Like the memes that are spawning from this are hilarious to me. Somebody said the reason that Wizards did it, like they broke these lands on purpose so they could advertise MTGO and go, hey, MTGO, at least the basics work. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's basic lands. And somebody else made another awesome joke where they went, you know what? Basically, they said Magic the Gathering has already mastered pay to win. So now they're moving on to pay to lose because you had to give up additional resources to get these special Dracula sleeves. They're not sleeves. They're not sleeves. They're literally just a different land. It's literally just a different basic land. That's all it is. They just put different artwork on a basic land. And it broke a huge event. They tell you not to use them in the Decathlon finals. You can't play in the finals safely. And the only way you're going to know this is if you go on Wizards of the Coast Help Twitter. Not even their main Twitter account. Wizards of the Coast Help Twitter is where this is located. So it's amazing to me that they managed to break basic lands. Like, that is next level. Like, the slow clap. You have done it. Gentlemen, you have exceeded my expectations in failure. The one thing I thought you could never break, especially after years and years of doing it right, it's been 4 or 5 years of getting basic lands absolutely right, and now you get these special promos that don't work. You can't sideboard. What happened? Oh, it's too funny to me. Sorry. Anyhow, that wraps up the news we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And like I said, when it comes to the Black Lotus, that's serious stuff. Share that around so people know what's going on. I hope you had a good chuckle at the Dracula stuff. And I will see you, my friends, in the next video.